When you're trying to lose weight, one of the things that you might want to do is to work on boosting your metabolism. After all, if you can train your body to burn more calories, it'll be easier to lose the weight that you would like to, right? Well, there are definitely ways to do this, but it is not exactly as simple as it sounds. In this video, I am going to explain to you what it means to boost your metabolism. I'm going to give you some tips on how to know what is going on inside your body, including a very cool way of measuring your metabolism using a device called Lumen that I've been trying myself and I am absolutely loving. And I want you to stay tuned all the way through because I am also going to be giving you 4 practical ways to optimize your metabolism so that you can more easily reach your weight loss goals. Now, if you have watched me here on YouTube before, then welcome back. But if you are new to my channel, then welcome. I'm Dr. Kim Foster and I'm an MD termed coach and wellness expert. I was a family doctor for 20 years before leaving the healthcare system to focus entirely on my wellness business. And I'm also the founder of the Wellness Coach Academy, where I train the next generation of wellness coaches. So here on YouTube, I talk about wellness and business and all kinds of tips to help you to master the art of living well. And if those are things that you're interested in, then go ahead and subscribe because I upload new videos every week. Now, let's talk about your metabolism. So first of all, let's talk about what it means to boost your metabolism. I actually don't find this term to be very accurate or very clear. So before we get into everything, let's just make sure that we are on the same page in terms of what we are talking about. So when I talk about increasing metabolism, I do generally mean your resting metabolic rate, or the rate that you're burning calories at rest when you're not exercising or doing anything strenuous. But more specifically, I'm talking about burning fat, because there is a big difference between burning fat and burning carbs. For the most part, when you're trying to lose weight, you want to burn fat because it's the excess fat on your body that you're looking to get rid of, not lean tissue like muscle and bone. So in general, we want to optimize for fat burning, not carb burning when we're trying to lose weight. And your body actually has the ability to do both, burn carbs or fat. So metabolic flexibility is the ability of your body to switch between burning carbs for energy and fat for energy. And you want your body to be metabolically flexible because, for one thing, that's what helps you to avoid that huge crash in energy if you don't eat for a few hours, because your body is able to tap into your fat stores. So whether your body is actually burning mostly fat or mostly carbs at any given moment depends on several different factors. Now, some of those factors include our level of physical activity, our stress level, and the amount of sleep that we've had recently. But probably the biggest factor that influences whether your body is burning fat or carbs at any given time is your body's carbohydrate balance, as in whether the carbs are currently available, in your body to be burned and in what form. For example, your body will first use the available carbs from food that we've eaten recently. That's just the circulating stuff in your blood as glucose. And then after it burns through that, your body will turn to your carb stores, which is otherwise known as glycogen. Then after depleting those glycogen stores, though, that is when your body shifts to using its fat stores. And that's what you want it to be doing. So if you just consumed a bunch of carbs, your body will burn that first, even though you may have some fat stores that you would really love your system to burn. It will prefer to burn the carbs that you just ate. So how do you know when your body has shifted into fat burn mode? How long does it take for your system to work through those carbs that you consumed and to start burning your fat stores? And how do you know whether your body is burning fat or carbs at any given moment? Also, how do you know how metabolically flexible you are? Are there ways to know if this is something that your body is good at doing? So these are all good questions. And the thing is, the answer, it's going to be different for everyone. Everybody's system is different. There are some general guidelines and some basic ways that physiology works, but it is going to be different from one person to another. However, there are a few ways for you to know what's going on inside your body. So here are some signs that you tend to burn primarily carbs. You fatigue faster, and that's because glucose breaks down fast and you then have that crash afterward. You might get a headache if a long time passes between meals. You might have trouble focusing, and you might even tend to get hangry and you're not able to feel better until you eat. You might have just finished a meal and still be hungry or craving dessert. On the other hand, when you're burning fat, you can feel a lot of the opposite effects. You have more energy, you have sharper focus, your hunger is blunted, and that's even if it's been a while since your last meal. That's because your body is happily metabolizing your fat stores, which is what they're there for. So these are some of the telltale signs to help you to figure out if you are burning carbs or fat. But there's actually another way to know, and that's to measure it using this device that's called Lumen. Now, Lumen very kindly sent me this device to try so that I could really give it a go and learn how it works and see if it works for me and fits into my lifestyle. And I have to say, it has been such a game changer. So Lumen is a device that was developed by twin sisters who are also doctors of physiology, which I think is pretty awesome. And these two women developed this technology while on their own journey to improve their health and performance. So the way that it works is that when you inhale and then exhale through the device, it measures the carbon dioxide concentration in that single breath. And that concentration indicates the type of fuel that your body is using for energy. And that's whether it's carbs or fat or a combination. So once it measures the carbon dioxide, it then calculates a standard metric that gives you a very simple number on a scale from 1 to 5, which is called the Lumen level. And then you get a readout so you can see where you're at. So a 1 is burning almost entirely fat, a 5 is burning almost entirely carbs, and the numbers in between, of course, correspond to other varying degrees of fat and carb burning. So at any given point during the day, you can very quickly see whether you're burning fat or carbs or some combination of both. So I found it super quick and really easy to use. It pairs with an app that I downloaded on my phone, and basically you just turn it on, follow the instructions to breathe into the device, and then in a matter of seconds, you get your Lumen level. Now, I did get a few surprises when I was using this in the first few weeks. A couple of times, I got a number that was higher than I was expecting. One day, first thing in the morning, I thought it would be lower than it was, but it told me that I was burning an equal number of carbs to fat, and that was kind of a surprise since I actually should have been in a fasting state and burning primarily fat. But then I reflected and kind of realized that for the past few days, I hadn't really made the best food choices. You know, nothing terrible, but not really my best choices. So I kind of got myself back on track, and then my numbers did start to improve. Another time my sleep hadn't been the greatest. I had gone to bed way too late, and in the morning my Lumen number was a 3, which is higher than usual for me in the morning. And I knew that it was because I had kind of sacrificed my sleep. Once, actually, my Lumen could tell that I was coming down with a virus before even I knew. I was doing my first thing in the morning measurement, and I got a 4, which is burning much more carbs than fat. And it just didn't really make any sense at all because I usually get a 1 or 2 in the morning at that point. But then as I started my morning, I realized that I felt super tired and totally wiped out and just not well at all. And then sure enough, as the day progressed, it became really obvious that I was coming down with the flu, and well, cut to me spending the next couple of days in bed feeling awful. So that was interesting. When our bodies are stressed or fighting something, we definitely flip into carb burning mode because we need that kind of accessible, quick energy to mount a response to the virus and fight it off. So what I love about Lumen is that it gives me really quick, hard data on what's happening in my body at any given time without having to guess. I can then use that information to help me make smart food choices and exercise choices. And basically, it's just an additional piece of information that really helps me stay on track and stay in tune with my body. So if you're interested in purchasing a Lumen for yourself, then I have actually got a discount code for you. So if you follow the link below in the description box and then enter the code Dr. Kim, then you will receive $50 off. And if you do purchase a Lumen and use it to help you on your health journey, I would love to hear about it. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is how to get your body to burn more fat. As I mentioned, if you're trying to lose weight, then this is really the goal, right? So let's take a look at some specific strategies to help us do this. So how to get your body to burn fat. There are 4 different ways that I want to talk about on how to do this. One is to consider incorporating time-restricted eating into your routine, otherwise known as intermittent fasting. This is my favorite way of getting my body to burn fat, and this is something that I do personally. I've created a few other videos about how to get started with intermittent fasting. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, then be sure to check out those videos. I will link them here on the screen and also below in the description box. But in a nutshell, intermittent fasting is a common method for boosting metabolic flexibility. So during intermittent fasting, the body uses the available carbs and then turns to its carb stores, glycogen. And then, as we talked about before, after depleting its glycogen stores, the body then shifts into using fat stores, which means that fasting essentially trains your metabolic flexibility. So let me explain just a little bit more. After we eat, we're in what's called a fed state. In this state, fat burning is on hold and fat storage goes up. Then once our body has completely digested and processed our last meal, we move into a fasted state and our bodies go into fat burning mode. The problem is that if you start eating as soon as you wake up, eat frequently through the day, and then eat right up until you go to bed, your body never really has a chance to enter that fasted state. So if you get up at 6 a.m. and go to bed at 10 p.m., that's a feeding window of 16 hours and only 8 hours of fasting while you're sleeping. Much better would be to extend the period of awake time when you're not eating, either by stopping eating earlier or starting eating later in the morning so that you can allow your body to experience that fasted state and start to actually burn fat rather than only burning the food that you are constantly feeding it. So I personally do a 16-8 fasting window, which means that I just limit my eating time to an 8-hour period during the day, basically from noon to 8 p.m. And then I'm not eating the rest of that time. But you don't have to start out that way. In fact, just limiting your eating window to a 12-hour period would be a big improvement. That would be starting at 9 a.m., say, and then stopping at 9 p.m., just as an example. There are lots of ways to do it. And if you're interested in learning more about intermittent fasting, then I've put together a free guide to help you, and you can just download it using the link in the description box below. The second way to train your body to be more metabolically flexible and burn more fat is to incorporate fasted workouts into your routine. So when you train at low or medium intensity in a fasted state, it forces your body to use more fat for fuel. Exercising in this way has been shown to boost your metabolism and develop metabolic flexibility. This is also something that I do. So I go for my morning run every day in a fasted state. Basically, in the morning, I just have my water and my black coffee. And then once I've got my kids off to school, I go out for my run, still in the fasted state. That's right, on an empty stomach. I know that in the past, conventional wisdom would tell us that we needed to have a pre-workout fuel-up snack and then a post-workout snack. And this is really just more of that same messaging that we need to be eating all the time. But we really don't. Our bodies are designed to get the energy it needs from different sources, namely fat, but only if we allow it to do so. Okay, the next way to train your body to burn more fat is to prioritize sleep. So getting good quality sleep is extremely important for improving metabolic flexibility. So remember how I mentioned that getting that not so great sleep the night before flipped me into more of a carb burning mode? Well, there are hormonal changes that happen in our bodies when we're sleep deprived. And one of the effects is to keep us in carb burn, not fat burn. And of course, that is not what we're going for. So it's really important to do what you can to ensure that you get enough sleep on a regular basis and that it's good quality sleep. Okay, the final strategy is to reduce the carbs in your diet. So remember that when you eat a bunch of carbs, that's what your body is going to prefer to burn for energy right off the bat. So by reducing carbs and focusing your meals around protein and fat, your body will quickly be forced to adapt to using fat for energy. Again, this doesn't have to be all or nothing, but in our culture, our diets tend to be very carb heavy. And so even a few simple changes along these lines can really make a difference, especially simple sugars and simple carbs. So things like white bread and white rice and sugary treats, These are the things that you definitely want to reduce if you want to get your body into fat burning mode. So try to include more healthy fats and more protein in your meals and less of the sugary processed carbs. Okay, that is what I've got for you today. I hope that you found this helpful. And again, if you are interested in learning more about Lumen and purchasing one of these babies for yourself to support you on your wellness journey, then be sure to check out the link in the description box below to save $50 on your purchase. And don't forget to use the discount code Dr. Kim on the checkout page, just DRKIM. Also, if you're interested in learning more about intermittent fasting, then be sure to download my free guide. Again, I have linked it below. As always, I would love to hear from you. What is the one thing you're going to do right now to train your body to burn more fat? Which one of my tips are you going to start with? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, that's a wrap for this video. Take care, have a wonderful day, and I will see you again very soon.